Okay, a flip-flopped scenario for my hypothetical, my who and my wedding. So this is, I'm thinking through different scenarios for if/when I move out of my parents' house and in with my soulmate and or soulmates, and there's a wedding time coincidence with that. And so what does flip-flopped mean? Flip-flopped here means the wedding comes before some of the other stuff, like the wedding ceremony and the wedding reception and the slicing of the wedding and eating of the wedding cake and stuff like that. And so essentially, and I'll talk through for each day per my YouTube moving wedding synchronization videos list video. And I'll link to that in the video description, as well as the non-flip-flopped baseline scenario. So the synchronized videos list video, as well as the timeline and tasks for that. It wouldn't change much. It would just be kind of switching to, or moving one thing and having like open time on the night of, that would have been the wedding night instead of like the first day kind of thing. Okay. Why would this come about? One, if everybody we invited, like family, said no right away, well, then we could move the wedding earlier if we wanted to. Right? One. Two, if everybody's here, right, that does say yes, kind of like there's not really a delay in going for more airport pickups kind of thing. So like everybody's here, the rest of the people say no kind of thing. Okay, well then if we want to move it earlier, we could. And so that's kind of like a joined one, I guess, attendees. Then the second reason would be, my Zaboswai, my Dominique, has a preference for what we eat on for the wedding reception, and we currently have 2 places that are closed one day of the week. So if he really wants a place and it's open on the flip-flopped scenario date and not on like the regular baseline scenario date, then we might. Even if it's open 7 days a week, if he has like, let's say all of the restaurants all of a sudden, right now, started functioning 7 days a week. Even in that case, if he has a preference for rehearsal dinner and reception dinner and stuff, things could be flip-flopped to accommodate his preferences. Kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. He gets a say. The man of the wedding gets a say. Put it that way. Okay. So day 0. So day 0 is if people arrive after a certain time. That doesn't really change. If there is a day 0, there might not be a day 0. A day 0 is only invoked if there's if the moving crew arrives after a certain time and we don't really, they kind of arrive and then sleep over and we start the tasks the next day kind of thing. Day 1, what would change on day 1? So I might change the filling in the 3 videos on a bit about my who and our love story, my who and my wedding video, the wedding itinerary and logistics video, and an official engagement announcement video. Those 3 videos would be switched from day 1, or removed from day 1, I guess. And then the marriage/wedding ceremony video would be added, the reception dinner and dessert video would be added, and the slicing of the wedding cake would be added. Day 2 stays the same, so we would still do the rehearsal dinner, and rehearsal marriage/wedding ceremony, and we'd still do the rehearsal dinner and dessert. It would just be in backwards order. And then, so that's day 2. Day 3 would be the marriage/wedding ceremony video would have already been done, as well as the reception dinner and dessert video and the slicing of the wedding cake video. So instead, we do a bit about my who and our love story, my who and my wedding video, the wedding itinerary and logistics video, and the official engagement announcement video. So there'd be a packet of, so those 3 would get bumped in to the 3rd day. And what would change in terms of like synchronized moving would be, there would be more time on day 3 to accommodate moving tasks, whereas in the baseline scenario, day 3 is the wedding, and the extra time would have been on day 1. Okay. So the more time for moving would be adjusted. Same number of videos if we do it like for this scenario I'm talking about. just distributed differently. And then day 4 would actually stay the same. So that would still be breakfast the morning after, and then on the airplane heading home, and then arrival at the new home if applicable. So that doesn't change. It would literally be flip-flop 2 things. 1 packet of 3 gets moved later, 1 packet of 3 gets moved earlier. It would be kind of so that's that. Notes. It would be kind of, if that does happen, I'd say I don't know if I've ever heard of a wedding happening like that. In my personal lived experience. So there's that. It would be a first of my knowledge, not necessarily the first ever, but it would, yeah. It'd be like the TV shows, you know, where they do all the cooking on like a reality TV show and the competition, and then they do the interviews after with the fact where they talk through what has already happened. It'd be like that. It's like, it's right, let's talk about our love story now that we're married, or let's go through the rehearsal, like as if the wedding, well, it did happen, but like, so that kind of thing. So it's actually kind of, in terms of like, if we were thinking about filming in television, it's actually kind of the norm. So that's kind of fun. Do we have any concerns? So there's notes about the flip-flop, notes about video approach, is for the flip-flop. Okay, and then I also have notes, so, and this is more tangential, concern about the wedding and peeing out of excitement like the squirrels sometimes. So sometimes the squirrels get really excited and they squeal and they urinate or pee when they get really excited. They can also get mad and pee, but like sometimes they get really excited and they pee. And so there's a lingering concern that I might pee out of excitement just to see my Dominique when I see my Dominique. So we maybe he'll bring a special package of feminine pads that I can wear as applicable, so that any extra bodily fluids, we have an extra measure there. Yes, which reminds me about the squirrel. So Dad in the backyard, critters returning to normal. So he started feeding the critters before I ever moved in here. He went to the feed store and he got his go-to order, so to speak, of when he's in control, and that's the squirrel trail mix, which is like, I call it the fancy nuts for the red squirrels, and then just the patio mix. And there's corn in a squirrel and wildlife mix for the gray squirrels, and the birds eat it too and stuff. And the peanuts. But once we leave and these critters that are coming with us leave, there's some critters that might remain and there's new critters that might come this way, but he has communicated to me in some form today that it returns to that, right, kind of when I leave, kind of thing, which is cool that my dad cares for the wildlife like that. Yes, an animal lover, a wildlife lover, even if he's not forward about it, he is. And then, and people wanted to know a day in the life of the squirrels that do come with us, the tree planters and fighter pilots. So after we move, so maybe they're a team of like 5,000 squirrels that plant trees all over Scotland. We'd need helpers. So they might have a 3 to 4 hour work day at the beginning that goes into an 8-hour work day. So like Timber the gray squirrel out with her human shepherd and Pumice the gray squirrel, and they go out and they plant trees, and they're humans taking down logs where to plant the trees. We'd need human help. Who do we want to help? People who take it seriously, right? If the person's not taking it seriously. These are real animals, and these are real trees that are needed for real oxygen in human survival, and not just humans, the squirrels and other things as well. So people who take it seriously, and people we can trust. So like, not people who have raped me, not people who behave like my rapist or propagate those kind of cultural tendencies and behaviors, right? So if you want to, it's not like we're gonna prioritize people who do not have children, because people and do not want children, though I think they should like not be neglected, right? There are people who do not have kids and do not want kids, and yeah. Okay. And so we want to make sure that people who choose not to have kids and who want to help with the environment and be sustainable and stuff have a place in this world. So there's a, like, we acknowledge you guys and we want you guys. Though we will also take, like, people who have had children. Right? So we're not going to discriminate in that way. We choose to be discerning on people who take it seriously and people who are trustable. We trust. Yeah. So in conclusion, that's a flip-flop scenario and a little bit a tangent about the critters after the move, I suppose. Yeah. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi. This is my YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi, and I'm filming this on Monday, 18 December 2023. Seattle time zone. This is the city of Shoreline, formerly Seattle proper, still Seattle area, and still Seattle in some things. King County, Washington State, United States of America, planet Earth, the original.